Bachelor Grant Ellis denies reports he was torn between final two. March 10, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Bachelor Grant Ellis continues to get closer to the end of his journey. Throughout the season, previews indicate that Grant has a hard time with the final rose ceremony. He seems very confused and unsure about who he wants to choose. Jesse Palmer even spoke out, saying his confusion was genuine and not all about editing. Now, Ellis denies these reports that he was torn between the final two. What is he saying? Keep reading to get all the details. Bachelor Grant Ellis denies confusion before final rose ceremony. Bachelor Grant Ellis is down to his final 3 women. He will be taking them to the Dominican Republic for fantasy suite dates. Following these dates, he will narrow it down to 2. Those 2 women will meet his family and have one last opportunity to prove to Grant that they are the one for him. Then he will have to make a decision about who he wants to give his final rose to. In previews, fans see host Jesse Palmer telling Grant that both women are on standby. He says he needs to know which lady to send out first. Ellis looks torn and says he doesn't know. In a previous interview, Jesse shared that Grant's emotions were real. He said since he began hosting, this is the first time he had to kind of give the lead a push to make a decision. Palmer claims editing was not a part of it, and it did really happen. However, Grant denies it was that deep. What exactly did he say? During an interview with US Weekly, Grant shared more about those moments before the final rose ceremony and how he was feeling. Previews make it seem as though the Bachelor really had no idea who he was going to pick just before the rose ceremony was set to happen. Grant claims there were a lot of external factors involved. What external factors was Grant talking about? Bachelor Grant Ellis spoke with US Weekly about his finale and the hesitation he was reportedly feeling. He said there were a lot of external factors involved. In the preview, he is also seen telling his father that he basically has 60 minutes left on the clock to make a decision. Grant reveals that it was definitely more than an hour. He also shared that going into hometown dates, he knew 100% he would propose at the end of it all. Finding a wife was what he came there to do, and he was determined to make it work. Grant said, "You don't want to hurt people. You have a lot of weight in terms of being a lead of a different ethnic group. There's a different level of pressure that comes with being a man of color in this role, and a different expectation. It leads to some added thinking that deserves a little extra time. There were some things that really weighed and were hard for me. But ultimately, you go with what makes you happy, and you go with what you feel is gonna be the best decision for your future." Ellis continued to talk about that moment and said it was one thing getting to that point, but another to say it out loud. He also said all of these external factors made him stop and think that America is watching. It's not just him making a decision alone in his house. So Grant denies that he didn't know who he was going to choose. He just let the external factors make an impact on him for a moment. Some think he was denying the confusion to also avoid drama with his winner. No doubt, if she sees the ending play out and sees him being hesitant about choosing her, then it could create hurt feelings, which is exactly what Grant was trying to avoid. Fans will see these final moments play out on television March 24. Until then, fans can tune in on Monday night to watch the drama-filled Women Tell All special. What do you think about Grant denying he was really that confused? Stay tuned for more updates. The world of The Bachelor is never short on drama, but the latest headlines about Grant Ellis have taken the fandom by storm. Reports recently surfaced claiming that Grant, the most recent Bachelor, had struggled to choose between his final 2 women. However, in an exclusive interview, Grant himself is speaking out and setting the record straight. The rumors begin. For weeks leading up to the explosive season finale, speculation ran rampant that Grant was deeply conflicted about his final choice. Tabloids and social media sleuths claimed that behind the scenes, he was wavering between his top two contestants, leading to one of the most intense finals in franchise history. Insiders even suggested that producers had to intervene multiple times, as Grant reportedly broke down in tears on the final day, unable to make a decision. Some claimed that he even consulted with former bachelors and showrunners for last-minute guidance. But now, Grant is calling these reports nothing more than fabricated gossip. Grant breaks his silence. During an interview with Bachelor Nation Unfiltered, Grant addressed the controversy head-on. "I want to be really clear about this. I was not torn between my final two," he stated firmly. "Did I care about both of them? Of course, but when it came time to make my decision, I knew in my heart what was right." According to Grant, the narrative that he was confused or indecisive was simply not true. He insists that his decision was made well before the final rose ceremony, and that editing may have made it seem like he was more conflicted than he actually was. Did producers manipulate the narrative? Fans of The Bachelor are well aware that editing plays a major role in how storylines are presented. Multiple former contestants have revealed that production often crafts a more dramatic arc than reality suggests. So did the show intentionally make Grant look like he was struggling to choose? One source close to production suggests that the tension in the final episode was indeed exaggerated. Grant was emotional, yes, but he wasn't going back and forth like the show made it seem, the insider explained. He was solid in his decision, but that doesn't make for good TV. So of course, they edited things to make it look more dramatic. How the final two reacted. With Grant setting the record straight, many have turned their attention to his final two women, Emily Carter and Vanessa Holmes. Did they feel like they were part of a love triangle until the very end? Emily, the runner-up, has largely remained silent on the topic, but sources close to her say she was heartbroken by Grant's final decision. "She was all in. She really thought she was the one," an insider revealed. "When she didn't get the final rose, she was devastated, but she never felt like Grant was confused." Meanwhile, Vanessa, the woman who received Grant's final rose, has been vocal in defending him. "I knew from the start that Grant had a strong connection with both of us, but I never doubted his feelings for me," she said in a post-final interview. "He made it very clear where his heart was." The fan reaction. Despite Grant's denial, fans remain divided. Some believe his version of events, while others think there's more to the story. Social media has been buzzing with theories, with some viewers pointing out key moments in the finale that made it seem like Grant was still unsure even in the final moments. If he wasn't torn, why did he hesitate so much before handing out the final rose? One fan tweeted, "His body language screamed uncertainty." Others, however, are taking his side. "Editing can be so manipulative. I believe Grant when he says he knew all along. The producers just love to stir up drama," another fan wrote. What's next for Grant and Vanessa? Now that the finale has aired and Grant has addressed the controversy, all eyes are on his relationship with Vanessa. Are they still together? Will they make it down the aisle? For now, the couple appears to be happy and moving forward. "We're taking things one day at a time," Grant said. "The show was an amazing experience, but now we're just focused on building a real life together." Only time will tell if Grant and Vanessa will be one of the rare Bachelor couples to make it work in the long run. But one thing is for sure, the drama of this season will be talked about for years to come. So, was Grant Ellis really torn between his final two? Or was it just another case of Bachelor drama being amped up for TV? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.